Hey everyone, it's Phil Chop back in the video, and today we're going to be going over the May 18th patch notes here. And as I said earlier in the day, this was going to be a massive drop, and it did not disappoint. So let's jump right into it because we got a lot to cover here. First off, we have the new feature, Guild versus Environment. First rotation will be open from May 18th to June 1st. The game is not currently open. I believe it's going to open in about 40 minutes or so, and we'll have to check that out, and I believe I'll have my first video out kind of describing the new Guild versus Environment tomorrow morning. Second one is new difficulties for No Man's Land stage 10 and 11. This is massive for those of you that are farming legendary skill ups. I imagine it won't change much for elites and epics, but nonetheless, that's nice. Summon rate up event for brand opens. Okay, so this is just a cool little event that allows us to summon brand at an increased chance when there's no summon event live for a new character. Fourth is guild boss. Okay, this is exciting. Adjust the gameplay of the guild boss. So this could be an avenue for a bunch of new videos talking about guild boss comps if it has changed quite a bit, because the skills and the rules have changed. Weekly personal total damage rewards, daily challenge rewards, and reckoning of the guild reward chest. This means that if they've changed it so that the guild rewards are much better, this could be an avenue for you to build your guild boss comps and not feel bad about it, because the rewards could be excellent. So this is something that we'll have to test over the upcoming days to see how actually changed they are. Next up is 30% focus for light and dark heroes. I don't think this matters that much, to be honest. Generally, the characters that you're going to want focus on are the ones that you want to strip on, but what we found from testing is that the characters that are light and dark that strip, like Imogen, Praise Durzag, Evelyn Firston, they do not need focus, so I don't think this matters all that much. I guess it matters for someone like Uriah for the defense down, or something like that, but I don't overall think that matters all that much. 6, adjust the stats and skills for the following heroes. Please refer to the hero adjustment mail and actual in-game or detailed changes. Minor adjustments. Okay, so all these characters, which we'll go over in some balance sheets down here, it looks like their stats were changed and skills were changed. The skills we'll be able to see, but the stats we will not until we get into the game. So we'll only be able to go over the skills here. 7th, the hero recall, which I'm sure most of you will love. The Vance, Jonathan, Rickard, Hassel, and Andre, all the characters that have received reworks or nerfs. Or in this case, there's no one getting nerfed, I don't think, but they're just getting reworks. So you'll be able to go ahead and recall them. I happen to have every single one of these except for Andre built. So I'm going to be able to test out Vance, Jonathan, Rickard, and Hassel for you over the next couple of days. Lost Sanctuary, optimize the art assets. Okay, cool. Added Tashir to the hero dispatch. Cool. Notification message, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so all this doesn't really matter too much. Some bug fixes, and then here we go. Balance changes. This is massive. There's some super massive balance changes in this patch. First off, I'll start off with Balbera. Trait, add 1 stack of ability immune for 1 turn when resurrected. This is big for PvP, especially if you have a scenario where you're trying to burn down Balbera. He revives, his ability immune. Then he goes and gets his ult off, and he's going to go ahead and refresh that ultimate, which refreshes the ability immune. So definitely a strong buff there. Skill 1, increase the basic damage from 100 to 120, and change it to reduce the cooldown of... Okay, so this is, I think, a solid buff. The 30% chance to stun literally did nothing because you're not building focus on Balbera. So this was literally a dead part of his skill. So the extra damage and the reducing of the cooldown is very useful. Next up is Lydia. We increase the basic speed. This is nice. Trait now will reduce damage taken by 30% from attacks over an area. I don't know if I like this. So, this is no longer a dodge trait. If they've increased her stats by quite a bit, or maybe her multipliers, but I don't think they did. I think she loses the place that she already had in the game, which was like a dodge tank. Skill 1, replace accuracy down with increased dodge. Increased dodge will give her 30% dodge, which will be less than she was at before. So I don't think that that's useful at all. Tia, freeze. Now Frostbite will be unremovable. Tia will deal extra damage based on the stacks of Frostbite. The target has Frostbite 1, 10%. So this could be... It's unremovable. Huh. I wonder if... So I don't know if Tia's trait still freezes at 5 stacks of Frostbite. But if she does not, and she just gets a 50% damage increase, or if you have Ascension 5, she gets a 75% damage increase, she could be a massive damage dealer for someone like Ashe for someone, for some dungeons and for some PvE content. I could absolutely see her being viable there, and this is huge. If it turns into freeze after that fact, then she really doesn't change all that much, to be honest. Next up is Niklaus. Increase 50% more damage to the main target of the bonus attack. Death immunity removal, and increase the damage from 100 to 120%. Okay, this doesn't really do anything for Niklaus, in my opinion. Extra damage is not why you're using him, so that doesn't really do anything for him. Next up is Abaddon trait. This is specify the skill description. Okay, so it's the same thing, and then we have the skill 2 is actually a passive skill now, and if Abaddon's HP is below 100%, you're going to launch a bonus attack with this. And it's going to have a cooldown of 3 rounds. This is a solid change. You're almost never using this skill. And so getting this as like a free hit every 3 rounds is a big buff, because you never want to use this skill generally. You're going to want to spam your ultimate, and that's kind of what you're going to want to set him up for. So I actually like this change, and I think he's stronger. I don't think he's good enough, though. Brandon the Brilliant. Skill 2, upon reaching 8 rage, gain a bonus start at the end of the round. Can be triggered once per round. What? He's going to get bonus turns? That is insane, to be honest. Bonus turns is pretty insane. True damage from 10 to 20% on the ultimate makes it so that you don't just randomly spam your ultimate, even if you have your ultimate, or spam your basic, even if you have your ultimate up. So I like this buff. I don't think it really changes anything that he was going to be doing now. He's still going to be a monster for Mythic Tower. He's still going to be a monster for Queen. But he's just going to be way better at that now. Well, not a crazy amount better, but definitely a solid amount with this bonus turn for sure. And then Virgil, increase the hero's basic attack. Oh, I guess it does say some of the stats here. I wonder if it says any of the stats, just basic speed. So maybe Tia and Niklaus didn't really get any stat changes. And then we have trait Arcane Sanction, +1 rage when applying Arcane Sanction. Okay, that doesn't really change too much. Increase the healing of Arcane Sanction effect from 10 to 20%. Okay, that also doesn't change too much. Change from attacking all enemies to one enemy. Increase damage from 100 to 180%. Also, that doesn't change too much, unless the increased basic attack is insanely strong. If this changes its basic attack from 860 from where it was before to something like 1,200, 1,300, I could see this actually being a meaningful change. The only problem with this is that this AoE could have been used for some comps, but it's very few and far between, to be honest. Next up is Myla, trait fostering for each negative effect the target has. Chance to apply frozen, increased by 10, 15, 25%. Ascended, grant ice shield for 2 turns each wave. Hold this at 50% of the, apply speed down for 2 turns. Okay, I don't think too much has changed for Myla on her trait. Damage 80 to 120%, that's actually big. Skill 2, 100 150%, and skill 3, 50% extra damage to the main target. See, this just makes me feel like she's a budget Tia even more. She literally has the same ultimate, basically. She has the same second skill in terms of multipliers. She has the same first skill in terms of multipliers. Well, not quite in terms of multipliers, but you're getting a shield and you're applying speed down, which is basically what Tia is doing with a chance to apply frozen on the ultimate. So this just makes me feel even more like a budget Tia than it was before. So I'm not a huge fan of this changes, although I think she is better than before. Next up is Borden. Reduce the cooldown from can be triggered once per 3 rounds to per 2 rounds after Ascension. That's actually a solid buff. And then the skill 1 damage and skill 2 are increased by 20%. This doesn't really matter too much. You're really using it for the ultimate in PvP circumstances. I guess in PvE this could matter quite a bit. In fact, I actually do think that this trait reducing the cooldown is insane for PvE, but you're not using them all that much. So Thomas' trait to replace the grant CL for 2 turns upon taking just reduce damage by 30%. It's actually big. Is this permanent? I wonder if this is permanent or if it's only after taking 30% of max HP. I don't know, but this is kind of insane if it's permanent. I don't think he's going to be like game breaking or anything like that. He's going to fit into the same comps as he was before, but that's actually a really strong buff to that guy. Next up is Mognar. So we have this character, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Okay, so 30% chance to use the ability 3 times is what the new change is. And at the end of any turn, if this character is below HP 50%, grant speed up. Okay, cool. That doesn't really change anything for Mognar, in my opinion. He's going to do the exact same thing, and he's going to have an RNG chance to do it 3 times. And I don't like that at all. He is better, but I don't think he's good enough. Because even if you use that ability a 3rd time, it's not going to matter. Next up is Bruzak. Increases damage from 80 to 120%. Okay, that doesn't really matter. Also, grant shield equal to 30% of max HP for 2 turns. If this is an AoE shield, this could be really, really massive. If it's a single target shield, it still matters a little bit, but not that much. Next up is Hardbag. Trait grants +3 range at the end of the turn. Okay, cool. Grants this character 1 stack of ability unit at the start of the battle. Okay. Added effect if this character target has a shield, increase damage by 50%. It's actually a big damage increase if they have a shield, and they oftentimes will against Brand, but I don't think this really changes. I guess the one part where we were using Harbag against like Brand, Mythasia in Arena, if they have a Brand, this will do more damage, which is kind of cool. Next up is Silent. Added effect of Silent has 3 more positive effect when the enemy attacks, grants reduced damage taken. This is actually a big buff. 3 positive effects is very easy to obtain with Silent. She's going to get that defense up, and then you can easily run something like Connor, for example, or attack up and shield. So I think this is very possible, and then getting a reduced damage taken for 1 turn is actually big, I think, especially if you run her perhaps first in the turn order, and then she kind of drops that before the enemies go, or you run her last, and so she drops that after the enemies go, and then by the time the enemies go the next round, could be very solid. Next up is Vance Trait. When a non-boss enemy gets a positive effect, +1 rage, okay? Immediately grants Vance a bonus turn when having 5 rage, okay? Attacks ignore all enemies' positive effects, okay? 120% damage to an enemy. If the target has 2 more positive effects, launch a bonus attack with Inquisition. When taking lethal damage from an enemy, restores 16% of max HP. So wait, okay, so see if you're going to hit someone for 120% damage, and then you're going to heal for 16% of max HP, scaling with rage. I don't understand. Bonus attack with Inquisition makes me think that he's going to heal. And if that's the case, that could be very powerful, but he's not going to do that much damage, because he used to have a 30% increased damage trait here, which is a little unfortunate, but the ultimate does hit harder for 30% per positive effect, so that's nice. But I think overall, he was dealing more damage, but he's going to be much more survivable, and he's going to have the bonus turns, which is really nice to scale back to the ultimate. Next up is Jonathan. When the enemy casts an ability over an area, grants a shield to all teammates and self equal to 20% of max. This is insane. Enemy casts an ability over an area. This is like really good for Ashe, for multiple AoEs. This is good for Queen. This is good for Arena. This is good for Void Tower. This is an insane 100% damage to an enemy applies on healable for 2 turns. Scales with the character's max HP. So now you're going to be building max HP on him because it's going to scale the basic up, as well as giving him a max HP shield, and then applying a healable. This could be a massive Queen change here with Jonathan. Crazy, crazy. Skill 2 expels all negative effects and restores 30% max HP. Grants a bonus at the end of the round. Okay, nice. This is nice because it makes it so his skill 2 is basically a cooldown reset, and allows him to cycle back to his unhealable. Or his third skill, which is 120% damage to all enemies and apply attack down and defense down for 2 turns. And it scales with max HP. So this is awesome that it scales with max HP, first off. Second off, he's the first person where we have attack down and defense down on an AoE. This is insane. This unlocks Arena, perhaps comps where you're going to run defense down, attack down. This could unlock scenarios in certain dungeons. I'm very impressed with this kit change. Very, very impressed. He is the only confirmed defense down on an AoE now. William had it, but it's not. Oh, it's an 80% chance. Honestly, I think they should increase the chance to 100% on William because it's really RNG based. But let's continue on to Rickard. I'm really impressed with Jonathan here. Reduce the cooldown of the ultimate ability by 1 turn when the teammate dies. Okay, I hate that. Reduce the cooldown of the ultimate ability and grants reduced damage taken for 2. Okay, that is garbage. His trait was so much better before. Skill 1 deals 90% damage to an enemy and has a 50% chance to... Okay. Scales with max HP on the basic. Okay, that's nice. Grants a shield when HP is below 30%. Shield strength... bonus return at the end of the round. Okay, that's actually a nice change to his skill 2. 100% damage, true damage. Damage shares across all enemies and cannot be dodged. Starts with 3... Okay, that's a little bit of a nerf. I think overall, Rickard's actually nerfed. I think that Rickard is worse off than before, unfortunately. Yeah, I prefer just being able to ult at the beginning. I prefer the old 20% damage reduction trait. I don't like this teammate dying aspect at all. That being said, let's go on to Hassle here. At the start of the turn, grants speed up or speed up 2 for 1 turn to the teammate with the highest attack. That could be big. That could be big. Then we have deals 110% damage to one enemy. Heals Hassle the teammates with the lowest HP. The healing increases Hassel's max HP. That's big. Grants attack up and crit rate up to a self or teammate for 2 turns. And grants a bonus turn. Oh, he got the Yolanda treatment here with the skill too. This is actually huge. This gives another option for those of you that don't have a Yolanda type of effect. I think this could work really well with Urzag, especially with the crit rate up. You could stack more attack while losing some crit rate. I really do like this change. And then we have the ultimate, 120% damage to all enemies, defense down for 2 turns, and removes all positive effects on the main target. This is massive too. AoE defense down with a strip on the main target. Wow. We'll have to see how much this healing does on the basic. But I could see Hassel being a major contender for some content now. I really enjoy this buff. I actually rework, I would say. Andre, trait goo, when attacking, if the damage is more than 20% of the target's max HP, launch a bonus attack with Slam, which is the ultimate. Deals 140% damage to one enemy and ignores 80% defense. If it kills an enemy, deals another bonus attack to the enemy with the lowest HP. I could see this easily cleaning up Arena as like your last damage dealer. He just comes in, sort of like a Zatlux. He's going to smack one guy, go on to the next with 80% ignore defense, smack another one, and smack. I believe this hits everyone if you kill, so that is insane. Skill 1, 140% damage to an enemy with a 50% chance to apply speed down. Okay, speed down doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to focus. Skill 2, grant shield for 2 turns or taking a negative effect. That's actually nice. It scales with the attack, also very nice. End of the turn, or the start of the turn, removes all negative effects and restores HP to the remaining shield HP. This is huge. This is a big change to his passive before. He used to just cleanse, but now you're getting the shield that's scaling off of attack, which will keep him alive a lot, which is really nice. Then we have 250% damage and it removes all positive effects, applies no positive effects for 2 turns. That is a big change to his skill, and honestly, really solid. Wow. I like Audrey's change as well. Wow, there's a lot of changes here. I don't know what to say. I'm very excited. First off, guild versus environment is huge. Balance changes all across the board. I could see Jonathan being a major powerhouse. I could see Hassel breaking into the meta. I could see, who's another one that I was very impressed with. I could see Abaddon popping up a few areas. I think the major 2 from those changes are Jonathan and Hassel. I think those are the 2 to look out for in terms of content in the game. Now, I'm very excited for Guild versus Environment. I will be going ahead and talking about that hopefully tonight if the game opens soon. The stages 10 and 11, I'll be running a few of those stages to give you an updated determination of whether or not these are going to provide the blue and epic skill ups for you, or if you still are going to have to farm the lower stages. And this is mainly for legendary crystals. Brand, summon if you need a Brand. 1000% Brand is an excellent character. I will be summoning all my shards for a Brand or trying to get a Brand personally. And then we have a Guild Boss. This is a huge change. All of these changes I feel like are worthy of talking about here. These top 4. This 4th one in particular, and the first one in particular, if I'm being honest, I'm very excited for Guild versus Environment, but honestly, I'm more excited that the Guild Boss is some challenging game mode that we'll have to figure out, as well as insane rewards for it. So definitely super excited for this. Well, that is very exciting. Let me know what you all think about the patch notes in the comments down below. I'm very excited. That being said, I will see you in the next video talking about Guild versus Environment.